Thank you so much, and thank you, each and every one of you, especially my daughter, who will probably upstage me all night. First off, my husband, Larry, my daughter, Cecilia, and myself, our families just want to say thank you to INOVA for all that you have done for us. Last year, we got the best news we could possibly get. We found out we were pregnant with twins. And fortunately, that joy was short-lived. At about 16 weeks, we were shipped from OB to OB, specialist to specialist, being told each time that something was wrong with one of our children. And no one would take us in, no one would tell us what was happening. We finally got the diagnosis of our son had a rare brittle bone disease called osteogenesis imperfecta. And unfortunately, his case was terminal. And, but the institution had told us this, wouldn't take us in because they didn't deliver patients. So we were kind of at a loss. Finally, we were directed to Dr. Bronsky and Dr. Corey at INOVA Fairfax, where we finally found our home. And it was there that my first visit with Dr. Corey, he said that he had 3 patients, my son, my daughter, and myself. And while we knew the prognosis of my son, his job was to make sure that my daughter and I had a healthy pregnancy for as long as we possibly could. Through that part, he put me on bed rest. I will fully admit, my husband will attest to it, I was the worst bed rest patient you could ever imagine. Waking up in the middle of the night to bake cookies, driving all over God's earth with monsoon rains just because I figured I wasn't standing, it was okay. Also, they introduced us to genetic counselors who helped us to sort of understand what this rare disease was, why our son had it, and what could be done, if anything. Unfortunately, nothing could be done. And then they introduced us to Kelly Gallo, who is here tonight over there as our patient coordinator. She was our beacon. I emailed her, texted her, called her, morning, noon, night, weekends, some of the most random questions, and she was always there to lend a helping hand. She helped navigate the internal hospital policies, having us meet with the anesthesiologist to ensure that I could get the proper medicine because of a previous injury. She helped formulate a meeting with my husband and I and the neonatal team to figure out what we could do for our son if he did survive the birth and what was going to move forward. Also, she helped us with external. She talked about birth certificates, death certificates, helped us actually find the funeral home that we used once our son had passed. And it didn't stop there. When I walked into the OR, and luckily I was able to actually walk in, Kelly was there to meet me and take care of me and hold my hand and calm me down until yes, Cecilia, until Dada came in. And he was able to tend to me, and then Kelly immediately focused on what we needed to do for our son Angelo and our daughter Cecilia, making sure that the genetic material was collected for our son and sent to the proper places, and the cord blood testing was taken and stored for our daughter Cecilia. Obviously, we were so overwhelmed with everything and could not have done it without Kelly and her help. That first 24 hours, we were told if our son survived the pregnancy, he would probably not survive 24 hours. So Kelly arranged a room for us in the NICU where we as a family could sit with him and just wait. He actually had a very strong heart, and we thought he was stable, so they moved us up to the maternity ward on the 3rd floor. We were rushed down several times throughout that first night, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, to say goodbye to our son. Each time he would rebound. We would have to leave our daughter to go to our son, and then leave our son to come back to our daughter. And my husband made a simple request. Why can't our family be together? Little did we know hospital policy was NICU patients stay in the NICU. But my husband and I wanted our family together. And there goes Kelly again, working her magic with the NICU team, with the nurses on the maternity ward, making sure that our son was not in pain, and the NICU doctors, and specifically his nurse Joanne McCarthy, was on the floor at 2 in the morning making sure our son had the needed medication so he wasn't in pain. I failed to mention names, all of them, because there were just so many people who were so wonderful. Also, funny enough, my husband, after dropping me off at the hospital, threw his back out. So you have my husband with an S in his back, my son who was passing away, our daughter who was healthy, and myself who was just kind of overwhelmed. And everyone there took care of us. We had 3 magical days with our son and our daughter together. We were able to make videos. We were able to explain to our son why his name was Angelo Zoltan Schwartz and tell him about his grandfather, who he's named after. We were able to introduce our daughter to her brother and our son to his sister. We will remember those days with fondness. And it's strange to say that because you lost a child, yet it's because we were not treated as patients. We were not treated as numbers in a chart. It's because of the love and the caring of every single person on the 3rd floor of the maternity ward, the NICU staff, the doctors who took care of us. We cannot thank you enough. So on behalf of my husband, Lawrence, my daughter, Cecilia, my son, Angelo, my parents, and our entire family, and my husband's parents, we just wholeheartedly say thank you for everything that you all did.
What a beautiful story. Is Kelly here? Stand up, Kelly. Thank you very much.